I didn't think that was ever going to end. They just kept coming. They just kept coming. Which is awesome. Which is awesome. That's for sure. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Welcome to the 3rd annual Dick Conner Correctional Center and TCC graduation. Our best yet. I'm going to start and introduce a few of our special guests that we have today. And first, I'd like to thank the parents and the families that have made the trip to Dick Conner's and welcome you all to our hospitality. We've got afterwards we've got cookies and punch and then the whole 9 yards. We went all out here. So just welcome and sit back and enjoy and take a moment. These guys have worked really, really hard to get here, and I'm proud of every one of them. So without further ado, I'm going to start on my right. This is our warden, Miss Jane Staniford. Rick Baser. He is the vice president at TCC. Dr. Thomas McKeon. He is the president at TCC, the CEO. Director Justin Jones of the Department of Corrections. Out in the audience with us, we have Mr. Kenny Holloway, who is our deputy director. Mr. Clint Castleberry, the administrator of programs. Without those guys, this wouldn't be possible. They support us and stand behind us and help us get through this. We have a couple of visitors from other facilities. Mr. Lowell Doss, who runs the college program at Mabel Bassett. And Tom Larman, who is his principal. Yeah. Willie runs he's a correctional teacher at, and he's a little bashful as always. In the very back, we have our regional principal, Richard Schonhorst, who is also our site administrator for here. We also have House Representative Earl Sears, who's out of Washington, which is district number 36. And this fine looking group is all the instructors and staff from TCC that without their great effort, well, this would not be possible. We have went through a long, long journey together. And 4 years ago when we started this program, we started with 17. And look now. That's awesome. Last night, and I'm not going to steal Dr. McKeon's thunder, but I'm going to just do a little bit of it. Just a little bit. I'll maybe get the lightning, okay? We did a second chance dinner to raise funds to help the guys to continue their education. I was honored to hear Chef Jeff speak again. I also got to speak and meet Marion Jones, who came and spoke on the guys' behalf to raise funds for the program. She was a very outstanding and eloquent speaker. I thought she did an outstanding job, had a great message. But, Warden, besides getting to see those two wonderful speakers, I also heard one of your ex-offenders speak at that, Mr. Floyd Hayden. And he did a remarkable, amazing job. He will graduate, he's employed, and he will graduate from TCC in December with his liberal arts degree on the outside. So, it's continue on, guys. That's the message. He's continued on. He just didn't let it stop here. He's continued on. And he was so excited and you know, just it was a great opportunity for him to express himself. So, without further ado, I'm going to have a little change in the program. I'll let the warden come up and say a few words, and then she's going to introduce our Mr. Jones, who's going to make a few remarks. He will have to step out. He is a extremely busy man real quick, and he has a conference call. So then he's going to come back, but he wants to make sure that he gets a few comments in before in case something happens. So I'm going to let Ms. Stanford take over.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna.
You know, there's sort of, I was supposed to close, I don't know, but at any rate, I do want to welcome all of you here and say what an honor it is to be included in the graduation and how proud we are of our graduates. And without further ado, I will introduce our director, Justin Jones.
Thank you, and with all the sincerity in my heart, I appreciate everyone being here, all the collaborations that we have, and there's just way too many people to think, but I wanted to say thank you to the families, because families are extremely important, because when everything is said and done, you have your family, and that's extremely important. And we mentioned Representative Sears previously, but not that I am sucking up in any form or fashion. Let's get that straight right now. But he is our appropriations chair on the House, and I don't believe we've ever had an appropriations chair attend any graduation at any of our facilities. So we know he's a very busy person, and we appreciate Chairman Sears, everything that you do, and I know you're going to speak to us here in a little bit. So for the next couple of minutes, I'm speaking to you guys right here, especially the one in the front that just got the most wonderful smile in the world. The guy next to you doesn't smile, but he looks really cool, by the way. He is just chilling. So anyway, having said that, I want to tell a couple of quick stories. About 8 years ago, I was at a facility during visitation. I like to show up at visitations. I wasn't director then. I was the deputy director then. And I'll make a long story very short. A little 5-year-old boy came up to me and started tugging on my jacket. And we were during visitation. It was August and it was hot. And I looked down and he says, "My daddy's in prison." So what do you say when a little boy about 5 years old says your daddy's in prison? And I said, "Okay." And he said, that's him right over there. And I said, "Okay." And he says, "You know what he's doing?" And I said, "No, I'm really not sure. Why don't you tell me, young man, what's your name?" His name was Kamari. And Kamari says, "My daddy's doing time." I said, "Okay." And then he tugs on my jacket again. And he said, "He's doing time for me too." I said, "He is?" And he said, "Yeah, because he's doing time so I don't have to do time, and he wants me to pay attention while he's in prison. He wants me to watch him get his education." And I said, "That's really important, isn't it?" He says, "Hey, do you know what education is?" So I'm being educated by a 5-year-old. And I said, "Why don't you tell me, Kamari?" Kamari says, "Education is freedom." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." And he says, "You know what?" And I've never heard a 5-year-old get it right, got the name correct. He said, "Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr." He said, "You know, he died for my freedom." And I said, "You know what freedom is again?" He said, "It's education. He died so I could be educated." And then I said, "You know, something that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said was that everybody can be great because everybody can serve." And so I thank all of you for serving today, all of this graduating class, because you've proven that you can uncage your brain. You may be incarcerated, and you may believe that the Department of Corrections owns everything, but we don't own your soul, we don't own your spirit, and we don't own your mind. So God bless you for what you're doing today. Now, lastly, speaking to the graduates, it's all about you today. It's not about anybody else but you. Have any of you read Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison? Who? You in the back? You afraid to raise your hand? You afraid to raise your hand because you read a book? All right, we got to get over that. We'll talk later. Ralph Ellison wrote Invisible Man. And I'm going to challenge you to get this book if you don't have it in the library here. But in Invisible Man, he says, "I am not invisible because people cannot see me. I am invisible because people choose not to see me." And what you're doing today is forcing people to choose to see who you are. You've been disenfranchised, you found your way to prison, but now you found a way to uncage your mind. God bless you for that, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Why do I always have to follow the really great speakers? What's up with that? So without further ado, to keep this rolling, Dr. McKeon is going to make a few comments and introduce our speaker, but Dr. Thomas McKeon from TCC.
Thank you, Ida. I was so pleased to learn that you were going to be here today. And as many of you, or most of you in this room know, Ida's been the champion here at Dick Connors for TCC's program, the establishment of our program. And we wouldn't be here today without Ida Doyle. So I'd like to ask everyone to join me in showing our appreciation for Ida. I'm personally thrilled to be here for our 2011 commencement ceremony. And before I make some brief comments, I want to recognize two individuals at Tulsa Community College's West Campus who have really helped establish the program, working with Ida and the staff here at Dick Connor. And those are Dr. Peggy Dyer, Provost of the West Campus, and Gorney Williams, Associate Dean at the West Campus. Thank you. In addition, our wonderful faculty and staff along the row. Again, they're here teaching, they're supporting this program, and again, we couldn't do it without their dedication and commitment. Thanks to you. From the Oklahoma Department of Corrections, I want to thank and recognize Warden Jane Standiford and the Dick Connors staff here. In addition, I'd like to recognize and thank Justin Jones, Director of the Oklahoma Department of Corrections, Pam Humphreys, Senior Principal. I don't think Pam is here today, and Rich and Schonhorst for their ongoing support of education through the Oklahoma Department of Corrections, but most importantly for their support of TCC's work here at Connors. And finally, a very special recognition and thank you to Earl Sears, a member of the Oklahoma House of Representatives, for his ongoing support of TCC and the work that we do across our campuses, Earl, but especially your support of what we're doing here at Connors. Thank you, Representative Sears. Students, this morning is about you and your accomplishments. I congratulate each of you on earning your certificate and/or associate degree and being a Tulsa Community College graduate. I also want to offer my congratulations to all of the GED graduates today. The diploma that you are receiving today is a visible recognition of the dedication that you have invested in your personal development. And today's commencement ceremony is a way to acknowledge and celebrate your achievement. Students, always remember the knowledge and training that you receive with education will be with you throughout your life. Once you have it, it is yours forever. Don't stop with this program. Seek out future opportunities and continue to learn and develop. And remember those who have helped you, and in turn, believe in someone else and support someone who needs a little help along the way. Regardless of one's life circumstances, it is important to know that education is the common bond and the constant force that can allow individuals to move ahead. In closing, again, I want to congratulate and recognize the 2011 graduates of our Connors program here. What you've accomplished is a road to success, and it's been achieved through education and hard work. I wish you each the very best. It's now my pleasure to introduce someone who knows what it means to be given a second chance. We are extremely pleased, again, to have with us New York Times best-selling author and Food Network TV personality, Chef Jeff Henderson. This is the third year he's joined us at our commencement ceremony. Chef Jeff has a unique and inspirational story that is particularly important and meaningful for you, our graduates, and he's here to share that story with you today. Please direct your attention to the screen over on the left to learn more about Chef Jeff from ABC's Charlie Gibson.
Memoir, started a catering company, and is now the star of the Chef Jeff Project on the Food Network.
With garlic, herb,
It's
potatoes.
not your average cooking show.
Seriously, I'm gonna be your preacher, a chef, your father. I wanted to create a show that changes lives, inspires lives, and motivates lives through the power of food. That's what this Chef Jeff Project is about. I was able to take 6 young people who come from diverse backgrounds, gangs, drugs, homelessness, dysfunctional families, and create an opportunity for them. Does this look like what I showed you?
If they all make it through Chef Jeff's 6-week culinary boot camp, he'll provide them with scholarships to a cooking school.
Hey! You guys with me? Yes. Prison saved my life. You know, I was rescued from the streets. But I hope these young people can make the change in their life in society today without having to go to prison and take that journey that I had to take.
But Chef Jeff hasn't forgotten his brothers still inside.
There's a lot of people who've been to prison who's successful out there. They just don't talk about it. I talk about it. I know for the rest of my life that I'll be giving back, trying to fix the wrong. I'm not proud of what I've done in my former life. Today, I do truly believe that it's my responsibility. But it's also my passion. You know, besides cooking, I truly believe it's my calling to touch the lives of people who feel they have no hope or have no potential to be successful.
And so we choose Jeff Henderson. He told us his favorite dish to cook and eat is something he calls friendly fried chicken. The name of his mentor in prison, by the way, another inmate, was Friendly Womack. And you can find Chef Jeff's recipes, including that chicken, by logging onto our website.
Please welcome Chef Jeff Henderson.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say I'm again honored to be here today. Today is a special day, and it's not about me. It's about us. All of us who have made poor choices in life. But then when I look at this room and I saw the people coming in here this morning for us, it touched my heart in a way to make me think back when I was in prison and I used to come in a visiting room, not seeing what our family has to go through to come in here to love us. The pat downs, the looking under the toes, the humiliation to some. And I hope that all of you truly, truly appreciate that. Our children, everything, coming through the metal detectors out there. But not just them. Professors, highly educated, successful people in the community went through the body search, the signing the form to come in, the metal detector for you guys. It reminds me of the many people who came into the prisons when I was locked up to inspire and motivate myself. I want to start off by talking about my past, which many of you guys can relate to. 20 plus years ago, I entered prison at the age of 23. I entered prison ignorant, with blinders on, and didn't realize that I was in prison when I was on the street, which is called mental prison. I was lost. I had no middle-class values. I never valued education. I didn't value my community, and I didn't value the generation that came after me. But what it was, when I was in prison, it was where I grew up. And I realized later in life that I didn't get arrested, that I was rescued. And I know many of you sitting in this room could say the same thing. But some of you may not feel like that. Some of you may not feel like that because you haven't gotten your mind right yet. The time haven't worked on you. Pay attention to me, please. Everybody pay attention to me. When I came in, I was young. I victimized my situation. I blamed everybody but myself for my incarceration. The police, the informant, the judge, the prosecutor, the warden, the government, the system. And I say this in front of you, that none of these people here, the warden, politicians, parents, community, the informant, got us here. We made the choice to do what we did, whether it's use drugs to commit a crime, whether it's to get your hustle on out there selling drugs, robbing, stealing. We made the choice. And until you accept responsibility, the foundation of change, that seed, will never grow. It took me 2 years in prison to accept responsibility. And as I began to accept responsibility, I began to find my purpose in life. And when you find your purpose, that gift, the thing that you was born to do, it sets the tone for you to have a real dream. A dream that allows you to live the American dream, whatever that may be to you. I read my first book in my life in prison. I learned to shave with a razor in prison. The first time I ever walked straight up, confident, was in prison. The first time someone ever told me I was smart in my life was in prison. I didn't sit back and let the time do me. I did the time. And as I began to read, as I began to build relationships with some of the brightest minds on the prison compound. And when I say the brightest minds, I'm talking about the geniuses amongst you. I'm talking about talent. I'm talking about the ability, the capability to become and do whatever you desire. Geniuses who made poor choices. Geniuses who made mistakes. Geniuses who was on the streets, who had blinders on and didn't have the ability to see the opportunities that was around you. See, prison desensitizes us. Prison puts us in another prison at times when we don't get our mind right. And as I begin to educate myself, the blinders begin to come off. And when the blinders of ignorance and poverty and foolishness begin to come off, it's like getting a new pair of eyes. And when you get those new pair of eyes, it allows you to begin to see yourself different, in a different light. It allows you to see the world different. And when you begin to see the world different, you begin to see where you fit in. I had to find my purpose, and it was in prison. Because as a child growing up in a dysfunctional, broken family in poverty, my father wasn't able to see the genius in his son. My mother did not see the brilliance in me. And when I look back at the age of 47, 40 years ago when I was 6 years old, I knew there was something different about me. I knew I was different from my father. I knew that I had something, that little voice inside of me saying that I am somebody and I want to live the American dream. In my days on the street hustling, cooking and manufacturing crack cocaine, that one dream I had as a little boy was the one day to get a house on the hill with a white picket fence. I wanted that house for my mother. I wanted to put money in her pocket. I wanted to make things easier. I wanted the simple things in life. A refrigerator with choices for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A fruit bowl on the middle of the table. A cookie jar. House on the street with quiet trees. Why not? That's the American dream. Why shouldn't we have what everyone else has? Why shouldn't we have what middle-class families have? Why shouldn't we be able to take vacations twice a year? Why shouldn't we have choices and options for ourselves and our children? Well, I learned through educating myself the only difference between the have and the have-nots, the only difference between the folks who live in the suburbs and who are living the American dream, the only difference between them and us is knowledge, information, access. So when you obtain a certain degree of education and knowledge, it allows you to make the personal changes. It allows you to get access to people and opportunities that will allow you to live the American dream the right way. So for 10 years, I walked on concrete every single day, just like you guys, sitting on these hard chairs, wiping my behind with toilet paper that felt like a brown paper bag. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I got tired of drinking that Jim Jones every single day. Top ramen noodles, Doritos with the rich crackers and the seasoning with the summer sausage fried in the microwave and whatever little onion, a piece of chicken I can steal out the mess hall to add to that microwave meal. I got tired of that. So that set into me. And then as I began to change and educate myself, I no longer considered myself Jeff Hardhead, what they used to call me on the streets. I made a lot of money in my days. I was a millionaire at the age of 19. I never used drugs in my life. I never gangbanged. I never committed any type of violence. But I had a gift. I had a gift to sell. I had a gift to manage people. I had a gift of leadership. The same skills I had on the street, the same skills I used in prison to become the Sergeant of Arms at Toastmasters International, the same intelligence that I had to have a table at the think tank in the library with some of the brightest minds in America, the same intellect that I had to become the president of the Black Culture Workshop in prison, the same genius who earned his GED that took 3.5 years in prison. I discovered my strengths. Once you find your strength, that thing you're supposed to do, you play to your strength. And you manage around your weaknesses. So I took the skills I had on the streets, the ability to manage gang members, drug dealers, #1 newspaper seller as a kid, the #1 candy seller. I took that gift to gab. I took that ability that I used to build relationships with other gang members and drug dealers on the street, took it into prison, flipped it. And the one guy who told me that I was smart, a white dude, Wall Street business mogul, multi-millionaire from New York City who was in prison for insider trading. He said, Henderson, he said, man, you a smart dude, man. He says, all you gotta do is change the product. Change the product, build character and integrity, and there's no stopping you. So what did I do? The hustler that I've always been, I changed the product. This right here, this jailhouse penitentiary cinnamon roll. I was the head inmate cook, the head inmate baker. This cinnamon roll right here, government recipe that I tweaked. I put a cookbook together of 150 recipes, and I sold it for $250,000. And 50 of the recipes of that 150 prison recipes that I learned in prison. Baking, cooking, managing. I took the same passion that I had on the street with a bad product, and I took it out of prison in 1996 when I walked out of prison. I was a dishwasher, and I went into the finest hotels and restaurants on the West Coast, and I studied and I learned my trade. When people said I couldn't get a job and wouldn't get a job, I proved them wrong. But what did I have to do? I just didn't walk out of prison yoked up, you know, belling into the restaurant with my stroll on, mean mugging. I didn't roll up in there like that. No tattoos showing. I had to learn to smile. I had to learn to smile. And coming out of prison, we don't smile. We mad at the world. Everybody owes us. We have that entitlement mentality. I had to humble myself. I had to humble myself. I had to change the criminal brand. I had to create a brand. I had to become a chameleon. So I had to straighten up the way I walk. And let me tell you something. It took me months to get the corporate swag down and walk straight like this. How many of y'all walk like? I didn't see nobody walk like this today. You know how long it took me to walk straight like this and smile at the same time? Just to smile, diffuse the felony jacket. See, when I'm on the streets, I could tell a guy who just got out the joint. Swole up from the waist up. No behind, no legs. Big guns, big shoulders, big back, big chest. What does that do? So when you have the lady at the HR place, when you're going for the job, and you roll up in there, what does she see? What does she analyze? Is that the person that was on the 5 o'clock news that just ran up and did a home invasion? Or that was gang banging or jacking somebody on the street? Because that's what they play on the news every night. That's right. So they stereotype. So I didn't want to fit into that prison category no more. I had to diffuse the felony jacket. Clean shave my face. Got some square glasses. Some square slacks with funny looking shoes on. And I rolled up in there and I represented my brand. How you doing today, sir? My name is Jeff Henderson. I'm so excited about this potential opportunity to work here. You know, I've studied this company. You know, I knew who the board of directors was. I knew who invested in this particular company. I knew what food they cooked at all the restaurants. I was prepared. And I became articulate because I read books. I studied in prison. I watched 60 Minutes, 2020 Primetime Live. I separated myself from the homies because the homies wasn't getting me nowhere. I knew in order to be successful after prison, I had to build powerful relationships, strategic relationships, relationships with individuals who's going to create access for me, that's going to give me knowledge and the information that I need to get a job, to be successful, to become an entrepreneur and live the American dream. I'm still a hustler. I hustle every single day. I just change the product and I build character, relationships, integrity over 15 years. This October the 2nd, I'll be on the street 15 years. I became the first African-American, well, let me take that back. I became the first convicted felon to manage a multi-million-dollar-a-year restaurant at the world-famous Caesar's Palace in the Bellagio Hotel. That's right, your boy, Chef Jeff, with a prison GED. Prison culinary education with no formal culinary education. I went out in the world and I built the Chef Jeff brand because I did my homework when I was locked up. And if I can do it, you can do it. If your homeboy Floyd, I kicked it with last night. He was up here in Connors. He's out there doing it big now. He got a nice car. He has a family relationship. He got a good job. He's getting ready to start his own business. And in December, he's going to graduate with his associate's art degree. See, the real test comes when you get out. See, right now, a lot of people don't have faith in us because so many of us get out of prison and we come back. We get out, we come back. The real test comes when you get out of prison. Is your mind right? Did you start your pre-release process the day you walked into prison? It's no joke out there. I need you to look up here to me, please. Youngsters, this game I'm kicking right now, you're not going to get in no book. I did it. I've been stabbed when I was 16 years old. Look at that. See? I'm an OG. I'm 47. 47 years old, I was in the game. I've been a criminal my whole life until I went to prison. Stealing cars, breaking into houses, selling weed in high school. But I made the change. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what color, what religion. I don't care if you grew up poor, you grew up in the hood, in a trailer park, on the Indian reservation. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. We just as smart as everybody else. We just as smart. But we got to bring structure in our life. When you get ready to walk out of prison, the world has changed. It's like a time warp. You're going to be institutionalized. I dealt with claustrophobic. I was paranoid. I had trust issues when I came out of prison. I had to convince people to believe in me. I never gave up. When I went to the employer, I said, instead of a 90-day probation, give me a 30-day probation. Let me prove to you that I'm worthy and I'm capable of this job. Because I knew I was never coming back. So they ain't going to get me one time. I'm done. But see, in order for me to kick the criminal mentality, criminal thinking patterns, I had to love myself. So as I began to study history and see the contributions that African Americans made, my culture made to society, to America, I said, how can I go out there and kill people with drugs? You know, how can I go and not honor my mother and my family and my community? When I see these babies out here, my son was 5 years old when I went to the joint. 5 years old. He had to come visit me in prison. My mother came to visit me. I had to hold back tears because I didn't want to be weak. Imagine what our sons out there, somebody else is influencing our babies, our family. Look at the mothers out here. Look at the brothers and the fathers out here. They in there because they love you and they support you. They supported us, put money on our books, driving up here to see us, getting searched, being humiliated. taking time away from their schedule, their time, their life. They doing this bit with us. We putting our children through this because we was greedy. We made poor choices. This is the moment. This is the time right now. This is not no entertainment. We're not up here just to come up here to go through a formality. You know why we videotaping this? Because we're trying to take the message to the streets. We're trying to make sure our sons and our daughters see that. Do you want to graduate like this? Do we want our children and the youngsters and the homies in the neighborhood to graduate with a GED and associate's art degree in prison? So we got to break the cycle. Each and every one of you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, you owe TCC. We can't expect nothing for free. We need you to graduate. We need you to value this program and leave this prison one day and be an evangelist for change, like I am. An evangelist for change. Who wants to be in here the rest of your life? Some of you may never get out. There's a man here that may never see the streets again, but he has the most beautiful, prolific smile, attitude. And y'all know who I'm talking about. But one thing they can't take from him, that nobody can take from him, is hope. Hope. And brother, as long as you have hope, brother, as long as you continue to draw, as long as you continue to smile, as long as you continue to believe, your legacy might be here. Your legacy is going to be inspiring all these youngsters that come in behind you. That you reach back like the older homeboys in prison who reached back and grabbed me, who was never getting out, who told me I was smart, told me I had the ability, told me I'm bigger and better than selling drugs. You're the one. There could be other of you out here. I can go on and on about my success, but I did it, and it wasn't easy. 15 years I've been on the streets. The 10 years I spent in prison, I got busy. And I said to myself, I'm never, ever, ever committing a crime again. So I want to close out by honoring all the families here today. Because without them, we wouldn't be here. Your mothers, your women, they cry all the time. They're crying right now internally. Take a look at them. Everybody, take a look at these people out here. Take a look at them. They love you. They believe in you. And you need to make them proud. All these people you see right here, they got families. They got other stuff to be doing. They up here in a prison. They ain't getting paid extra to come here. They see the talent. They see the potential. If they didn't, they wouldn't be up here. You feel me? I'm going to close out now because like I say, I can go on, and when I finish speaking, you know, I got to go because I got to get home. I've been on the road for 14 days. We raised some money last night with Miriam Jones from the Shock. We out there hustling for y'all, man. So y'all need to stand up and do this program right and represent it right. Put your hat on straight. Sit up in your chair, learn to smile, re-image yourself, rebrand yourself. Get ready for that outside world, because I'm going to tell you something. It's not easy out there. There's no jobs out. Some of y'all got jobs up in here people on the street don't even have. Even though we up in here, we might make 10, 15, 17 cents an hour. Some people on the street don't even have that. Some people don't even have the Jim Jones or the cinnamon rolls, air conditioning, electricity, sports. So take advantage. So I want to leave you with one quote by Frederick Douglass, and this is powerful. He said, it's easier to build young boys than to repair broken men. Think about that. We got to build our sons up. I want you to know I love you guys, and I'm a champion for y'all because I know the talent up in here. And I'm going to pray for you guys, and I wish you the best. And I want to say congratulations and thank you for having me.
The associate degree or certificate of achievement each candidate for graduation will receive this morning is listed in your program. Each of these degrees represent a minimum of 60 credit hours of coursework in one of the academic disciplines or programs of study offered through Tulsa Community College. Tulsa Community College is also pleased to award certificates of achievement to those who have obtained a skill through a very concentrated course of study at TCC. All candidates for the associate degree and certificate of achievement, please rise. President McKeon, on behalf of the faculty and staff of Tulsa Community College, it is my pleasure to present to you the candidates for the associate degree and certificate of achievement. Each candidate will meet the requirements for graduation as set forth by the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education and specified by Tulsa Community College. I ask that you now confer the associate degree and/or certificate of achievement on each student.
As president of Tulsa Community College, and acting upon the authority delegated through the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education, it is my pleasure to recognize these candidates for graduation. With your successful completion of the requirements for the associate degree and/or the certificate of achievement, I hereby bestow on you this award and all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto.
Please be seated. As your name is called, please come forward for the presentation of the awards. Receiving the Certificate of Achievement from Tulsa Community College, Randy Allen. Benjamin Anderson. Maurice Ballard. Daryl Barksdale. Brandon Bryan. Douglas Caldwell. Conan Carson. Kevin Clark. David Conklin. Garrett Cooper. Bobby Crow. DeAndre Dabney. Charles Fields. Akai Frazier. Charles Goodner. Michael Greer. Darnell Jones. Sean Leggett. Matthew Martino. Ramon Mason. Nick Moody. Stephen Murray. Courtney Pride. Andre Sierra. Nathaniel Stansel. Jamel Woods. Mitchell Yoder. Receiving associate's degrees this morning from Tulsa Community College, Clarence Bramlett. Charles Goodner. Gerard Leon. Michael Smith. Eugene Stone Road. And Larry Yarborough. A graduation tradition are the tassels on your mortarboard. Please, graduates, move them from the right to the left side. Please join me in recognizing this 2011 TCC class of graduates.
Wow.
I gotta take off, you guys. I love you. I'm proud of you.
Now, we're going to have Earl Sears, our House Representative, come forward and make his comments about the college graduation and high school graduation. You have a mic?
Thank you very much. Before I get to my remarks, and they'll be very quick, I want to literally go around the room and say a lot of things. Chef Jeff, I know you're leaving, but once again, thank you for your continued support of this program. Mr. Schonhorst, I thank you again for having me to come over here. What you all need to know in this room, Richard and I went to college together, and we're just great friends, and they could probably put us behind bars, Richard, if we told what we did. Anyway, thank you for having me. Director Jones is out of the room. I work with him on a regular basis. And President McKeon, I want to say to you and your faculty, thank you for the commitment that you have to this program and what you're doing here today. And to all the personnel and the staff, thank you in regards to the Corrections Department. There's a lot of special guests here today, but the real special guests are you, parents. And I want you to stand up, and graduates, let's let your parents know how much you appreciate them being here. Parents. Parents, you're the special guest, and again, thank you for being here to support your loved ones. And I'm sure some of your parents couldn't be here today, and there's all kinds of reasons. Very quickly, everything's been said that needs to be said in regards to the importance of education, but I'd like to just kind of put my 2 cents into it. And as the educator that I am, I'd like to do a visual here. But again, I congratulate all of you. What you've done today is something you will never regret, and try to make that point. This is the key to a Ford pickup I drive that I drove over here today to this particular program. It's a very powerful key. Any key you pick up is a powerful key. This one happens to be the car that I drive. It's transportation, gets me from point A to point B, gets me to the store, etc. But it represents power in regards to getting me someplace. Also, you need to know eventually this car will get old, I may buy a new one, may quit driving, whatever, but this key goes away. This particular key right here unlocks a lock that locks a boat on the lake that I hunt ducks on in Osage County. It's called Lake Elizabeth. It's about a 50-acre lake. I lock it up simply because when the water comes up or goes down, I don't want the boat to float away. I mean, really, no one's going to go in there and take that boat. But a powerful key, because when I go duck hunting, I want to unlock that lock, get in my boat, and cross the lake. Now, this particular key right here opens one of the most powerful offices in the state of Oklahoma. This key is to the office of the Appropriations Chairman of the state of Oklahoma. I just happen to occupy it right now. There will be a day that I won't do that. Either I'll be defeated, it won't run, or term limits will get me, but this key eventually goes away. Every one of these keys go away. And I talk about the power of this key, and simply all keys have something to associate with them. Now, young man, can I borrow your diploma? But right here I want to submit to you, this is the most powerful key that you will ever hold. This particular document right here, the key that you're receiving today, will open any lock you encounter. Any lock. Key to success, key to your future, key to a new home, key to a job. I don't care what it is. The more education you receive, it'll open more doors for you. Now, you may think this is all corny and I'm just being, not embellishing it, but just making a statement here. I cannot emphasize to you, the more education you receive, the more opportunities you will receive. Now, the good chefs just made the point of your attitude and how you walk, how you dress. I can't lecture you on that other than if you leave here and you continue with that I'm the victim, then it's just not going to work for you. You need to turn things around now that you have this, and I guarantee you, there is a better path, and it will open more doors for you. The key you've received today, I congratulate you. Take that key, move forward, and open those doors. Thank you all for having me today, and God bless each and every one of you.
Now I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Wanda Whiteman. She is a representative of the Cheyenne Arapaho Nation. The Cheyenne Arapaho, we have 2 graduates that are Cheyenne Arapaho and members of the tribe, and through the nation's funding, they will able to complete their associate's degree. So the Cheyenne Arapaho funding paid for those degrees, and way to go, way to go. So if you'll give her the mic. Well, come on up, Wanda, and Wanda Whiteman.
And thank you, Ida, for inviting me each year, and I miss you, and good luck on your new job. Hello. We have been supporting 2 Cheyenne and Arapaho tribal members throughout their education, Eugene Stone Road and Larry Yarbrough. They'll now be receiving their Associate of Applied Science degrees. And bear with me, I just got some new teeth. I thought about not wearing them, but anyway. But I just want to let you know that I did some research, and there is one university, the University of Oklahoma, that has a distance learning program that you should be able to go on and continue your studies and get a bachelor's degree. So, and I sent a letter to Justin Jones, Director of Department of Corrections, asking him to support the teacher position. And I talked to several different people, and I was assured that a new teacher has been just going to be hired here. So you can continue your studies with a teacher here. I'd like to ask Eugene and Larry to come up and get a certificate. And all of our tribal members that attain some educational degree, the GEDs, we give them a $100 incentive award. The high school graduates, we give them a $150 incentive award. And that's for all of our tribal members, and our tribe is 13,000. So all of the high school GEDs, and then we go on up to the doctorates. They get $600 incentive award from us. So I'm not going to say what these guys are going to get, but they're going to get a good amount from us. And And I'd like to say we will continue to provide tuition assistance to them as long as they remain in good academic standing. And I wish all of you well. Congratulations to all of you, and you deserve it. And I ask you to continue your studies and whatever wish you well in your educational endeavors, and God bless you.
And now we're up to the GED graduates. Okay. We're getting I think we got a few more families coming in, so I don't want them to miss the opportunity to see, so I'll be patient here. If I can get Mrs. Joan Jones to come up here and help me for a second. Mr. Salami. Mr. Salami and Mr. Cloud are instructors here, and they both do an absolutely wonderful job. However, Mr. Salami is a little bit under the weather. He's having a little bit of blood pressure issues, so we're going to let him just sit and watch, and Joan and I are going to make this happen. And Joan Jones is actually an employee for TCC. She works 20 hours a week. I begged them to give me some help, and they sent me Joan Jones, who was like an angel. And she, as you know, I have taken another position as the Director of Education for Osage Nation, and Joan has picked up the light, and she's still running my GED program out there. She's still doing the college program, and I can remember the first day I brought her in here, and you guys that got your associate's degrees, you all remember that, because she came up here and we had a table set up here and we were going to do a mass enrollment. We had 100+ guys come down here for a mass enrollment. And Joan's eyes were about the biggest saucers. I mean, she was like, and I started bringing these guys in that door, and she was like, I said, don't worry, it'll be okay. And she hasn't left me yet, and so she's a trooper. The diplomas are right there. I'll read their names, and if you will shake their hand and pass them out. The first row of GED guys, would you please stand? As I call your name, would you please come forward? Joan, if you'll get here so they can get pictures. Okay. Matthew Boyce. James Copeland. Dion Dabney. DeAndre Dabney. I'm sorry. This means not only did he get his GED this year, he also enrolled in colleges and took college classes and got a certificate from the program. So he's continuing his education through the Literacy, ABE, GED college program. Sean Gilleen. Robert Lauderdale. Smile. Slow down and smile. Gentlemen, if you would stop and smile when you get up here, it would really make me happy. Yeah. Derek London. Anthony Lone Wolf. Second row stand. John May. John cannot be with us today. Mondale Mayfield. Ben McCormick. Archie Morris. Ronnie Murphy. Smile. Michael Tramble. David Conklin. David's not with us today. Oh, David, I'm sorry. David is also one that has considered his education, that's got his GED and now is in the college program. Jason Doyle. Smile. Kenneth Sanders. Blake Crawford. Leslie Davis. Franklin Gonzalez, not here. Daniel Meisenberg. Albert Odom. Well, this is one of those situations that you come to and you're the MC when the two guys that were supposed to close have already left the building. So, yeah, so here I am. And I know the last thing that Mrs. Stanford really wanted to she told me was she really wanted to make closing remarks. I'm not for sure really exactly what happened, but I seen her blazing the trail out the door. Maybe that was her closing remark. But, Richard, would you like to say anything? I'm all right? Just stand up here and die? Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, without further ado, I will go ahead and close. I appreciate all you families for taking the time to come out of your busy schedule. I appreciate all the staff at TCC for putting in the effort. And trust me, I have visited with them and coerced them and bribed them and everything to get them to come in the door, because if I knew I could get them in the door, I knew I'd have them forever. And you know, walking in the door is sometimes the most scariest thing out here. But once they got in the door, I never had to beg them to come back. They were always here. And so with that, guys, I do appreciate everything you do. I appreciate you graduates. We started 4 years ago. The 6 associate guys, stand up. These gentlemen, and both, I have medium and minimum guys in here, but we started 4 years ago when we started this program, and they have played a dual role. Not only have they been students with me and taking classes, but they also have been almost personal assistants to help Joan and I. And when things were going wrong, they fueled me. And so with that in mind, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything you guys have done and represented in this program. And good luck to you guys in your future. I'm 100 yards that way still, so, you know, I'm not that far away. So, but I do appreciate everything that you guys have done and set the example. And I can tell you guys that with this education, I can't remember, and I've known these guys right here for, I taught here for 15 years. And I can't remember the last time any of those 6 guys were ever in trouble. Education does make a difference. They are very, very good quality men and with a bright future ahead of them. As always, we have a visitation and family time after this. There's going to be punch and cookies. Lynn Martin, she is the bomb. She's a caterer out of Tulsa. She is also one of our hospitality instructors. She's not here today, but I met her last night, and she made the cookies for the graduation, and they are the best. And so there's cookie and punch and coffee, and then, of course, the prison cinnamon rolls. You can't have a graduation without them. So help yourself. Enjoy. If you guys will stand, and we'll started our and okay, come this way and down. We're gonna go this way.